What's up, guys?
What's first on the sort of preparation list when you go play in Green Bay December?
First for us is to make sure that we're good with what we're doing, our assignments, our execution, handling all of our things, and then you deal with the elements second. We made a big deal all week about our footwear, making sure the guys are wearing their screw-in cleats. I think, a great game plan is not going to work if you can't stay on your feet, right? So it all starts with our shoes, and then. Yesterday we did some wet ball drills with the snapper and the kicker and the holder. Tomorrow we'll do some more, and we're going to freeze some footballs and just try to prepare them for everything. And this isn't the first time a lot of these guys have done that before. But I don't think that the elements is going to be as much of a factor other than wearing the shoes and our guys being able to play fast because they know what they're doing and can go execute their assignments.
How long does the football stay frozen?
I don't know I don't know the answer. I don't know. I've never. After we're done with it, I kind of those guys take it back. So I don't know. But we're just trying to prepare them for everything. Wet balls, frozen, ice on it, that sort of deal, and continue to practice with those things. And this way, the guys feel comfortable, and they're not even thinking about that. We just go out there and execute our jobs.
How would that affect field goal range if it is super cold and the ball's really?
Yeah, it can affect how the ball travels. Obviously, if there's any wind, that's a given. But a colder football doesn't travel as well. So we'll get out there pregame and we'll kind of get an idea of what our range is each way. And it may affect the kickoffs. Or kickoff's going to travel as far. Is that going to lead you to maybe want to put a ball on the ground? If the ground's slick, and try to get the ball on the ground a little bit and rolling around. So we'll take it pregame and we'll kind of just see how it goes from there.
What did you like about Kendra Miller's return?
I really liked how he's hit it. And by hitting, I mean he's gotten the ball and he's gone that way in a hurry. And he runs hard. He runs physical, violent. And, he's been hard to tackle. He's broken some tackles, and he's done a really, really good job for us. And so I like everything about him back there as a kick returner.
Is that an expectation you had of him, I don't know, training camp? Or is it just something that you got to see and figure out how to do it?
Before training camp started, yes, he was a guy that we saw as being back there as a kick returner for us. I mean, obviously at that point, Sheed was healthy, right? And so we thought that, between Kendre and Taysom, that those were two really good guys that can be the opposite returner, especially, knowing having two returners back there with the new rules. And so we were excited about it. And how that went, unfortunately, the first practice, that sort of deal. But every time he's been back there, starting in the Chargers game, I mean, he's had a couple really good returns. And I think the good thing about him is, he doesn't mess around. He doesn't dance. He gets the ball. He gets going full speed. He runs hard, and he's a load, and he's hard to tackle. And he's broken tackles, and that's been excellent for us.
Is there anything that you've learned in 14 games now, the new kickoff rules? Is there anything that you've learned about the execution of it that is different than what you expected it might be?
Yeah, I think there's a couple things. You kind of went into it saying you want it to be able to do this or this may happen and that sort of deal, or the type of players that you want it. And I think as it unfolds, we continue to learn every week. To me, the biggest thing that I see affect the play is the depth of the kick. When the ball lands on the goal line, you have a much better percentage of making a tackle inside of the 30-yard line. Whereas if the ball's landing and they're fielding it and it's up on the 6 or the 8, they're getting more positive returns because we can't start until he touches the ball from the kickoff coverage standpoint, and that guy starts 8 yards further when he catches it on the 8. So that's really a big deal. It's a real big deal. The other thing you kind of learn is as the field spread out, and because of the alignment rules for the kickoff coverage team, for example, the 1 and the 2 have to be outside the numbers. It's really a further run than you think when you kick the ball away from those guys, and they really have to change their angle of how they want to go and get there in a hurry because they just may not have enough time, and especially if the ball's not on the goal line and that guy catches it, it's a far run that maybe they can't get there if they're running it down the sideline that it was kicked to. And then I think from a return perspective, the more that you do it, to me it really is more like our punt return techniques and things that we're using. And by that, I mean, you're trying to engage with a guy and then he really doesn't have a running head start like he used to. So you don't have a guy running into you and you're sitting there and he has the ability to run you over. It's more of you want to try to be square on the guy and then almost be able to take him where he wants to go and use an arm and push him by the ball or just widen a little bit of space. So I think some of the techniques that we've used, we've tried to alter and change from when we first put it in last spring to we see how it's unfolding.
For a guy like Groupie, who's a little more acclimated to maybe that environment, how much more confident are you in what he can do?
I'm extremely confident. I really am. I think playing, at Arkansas State isn't a warm place at the end of the year. And then obviously playing at Notre Dame, he's been in those conditions. So I'm very confident in him. I think that he's prepared for it. Like he had a plan coming into the week that we talked already from everything that I talked about earlier about shoes. Like he knows what shoe he wants to wear on his plant foot to make sure that he's not going to slip when he plants on a field goal or on a kickoff. So having that experience in that weather is a big deal, and I think he's been able to share that with Matt. And I think it's a little different for the punter than it is for the kickoff guy or for the field goal kicker because the plant leg's a little bit different of the shoe type that you want to wear there. But I'm extremely confident in Groupie. Just like I was here last week and we were talking, and out in New York, obviously he missed the one and then he had the real long one, and I told you I had full confidence in him. We came in and we had our session on Friday, and he went 100%, and then he came out and showed up in the game. And sometimes we didn't get the result we wanted of that game, but that kick he makes at the end of the game to cut it to one score, a 50-plus yard field goal, that's a big deal. It cuts it to one score, and it gave us a chance, and we had full confidence in him, and he went out there and he hit the ball, and so I was very, very excited for him.
Well, obviously we haven't seen Charlie since training camp.
Mm-hmm.
But how much have you seen him develop over the course of this year since really his first full year?
Yeah, look, I think when next time you get a chance to see him, you're going to think that it looks like a different player, and when he was in training camp and he had never had any of those experiences as far as having 11 on 11 of kicking it and all that sort of deal, I think it took a little bit of an adjustment for him. And, he's been kicking on his kicking session twice a week, regimented, and we film it all, and we're still working and developing him. And, he's done a really, really good job. And I think that, he's excited about where he's at in his own development. We're excited for him. And I think that, he has the ability to be a guy that can play in this league for a long time. He has a great work ethic. So he's done a really good job. Oh, we got? Awesome. Thank you, guys. Merry Christmas, everyone.